Imagine living your life on national television, thinking you're in control, only to find out you're just a storyline in someone else's script. That's what Shari says happened to her. On the outside, love and marriage Huntsville painted. Hers a glamorous, ambitious wife trying to hold it all together. But behind the scenes, Melody claims it was psychological warfare, emotional betrayal, and a production team that twisted her truth into marketable drama. At first, the show seemed like a dream. Melody and Martell were the power couple. Real estate mogul, attractive, successful, and front and center on a hit reality show. But that dream shattered quickly. Martell's cheating became public knowledge, and the fallout was broadcast for millions to see. What fans didn't know, though, was how much of Melody's story never made it to air. According to her, the producers didn't just document her life, they edited it, manipulated it, and used it. She said it felt like walking into ambush after ambush. Scenes were set up without her knowledge, castmates were prepped behind the scenes. Allegations would be thrown at her on camera with no warning. She wasn't just reacting to drama, she was surviving it in real time while the world judged her reactions. And the worst part, she claims some of the people orchestrating these setups were the very friends she once trusted. Take Destiny Payton for example. Melody once called her a sister. They'd been through it all together. Tears, laughter, everything. But Melody says, when things got messy, Destiny flipped suddenly. Private combos were leaking. Destiny started siding with Martell. Viewers saw the shift. Melody felt it like a blade in her back. Some people only stick around when you're struggling, she once said. But as soon as you stand up, they try to knock you back down. And then there's Letitia Scott, their beef isn't new. But what hurt Melody most was the accusation that she was trying to destroy families. After surviving a marriage riddled with infidelity, emotional abuse, and public humiliation, Melody being painted as a home wrecker felt like a cruel joke. She clapped back. Not with bitterness, but with clarity. I didn't ruin my family, Martell did. I just refused to stay broken for someone else's comfort. Beauty wasn't just the castmates throwing shade. Melody believes producers were fully in on it. She hinted that Martell had backing from behind the scenes with storylines edited to make him look like a misunderstood husband while she came off cold, emotional, even unstable. According to her, scenes showing her strength, resilience, or calm were conveniently cut or shortened. Meanwhile, every tear, every heated moment, those were spotlighted because a strong, composed black woman. That's not good TV, but a bitter one that sells. Melody talked about the emotional toll all of this took. One story that really stuck with fans was the time she left a shoot completely shattered after being ganged up on, ambushed in a group scene. She got in her car, sat there for over an hour and just sobbed. She questioned everything. Why she kept coming back. Why she allowed herself to be part of something that kept tearing her down. That moment broke her. But it also made her, because instead of quitting, Melody flipped the script. She decided to speak her truth with or without permission. Interviews, Instagram lives, even her music. All of it became a platform not just to call people out, but to reclaim her story. She said if the producers were going to profit off her pain, then she was going to turn that pain into purpose. And that's exactly what she did. Melody's healing didn't come with silence. It came with strategy. While people expected her to disappear or fall apart, she started building, and not just emotionally, but financially. She took every lesson from the chaos and funneled it straight into her brand, her skincare line. 7th Avenue premiere didn't just pop out of nowhere. It was born in the middle of a storm. While her life was being dragged on camera, she was behind the scenes creating something that had nothing to do with Martell, the show, or the drama, and everything to do with reclaiming her identity. She poured her soul into the products, sharing real stories with every launch. No glam filters, just raw captions, no makeup selfies, and a message that screamed survival and rebirth. She wasn't trying to play the perfect influencer. She was showing women what it looked like to get up when life slaps you across the face. 7th Avenue wasn't just skincare. It was a statement, and fans felt that. Sales took off. Her DMs were flooded with women saying they finally felt seen. That's what made her dangerous to the system. She didn't need it anymore. But that was just the beginning. Melody took it even further. Real estate had always been part of her life, but now she owned its narrative. She launched master classes teaching women how to flip properties, build wealth, and never rely on a man or a network to secure their future. Thousands of women signed up, and they weren't just learning, they were winning. Melody became a symbol, not just of resilience, but of financial power. She was shifting the culture from the inside out, and she was doing it without begging anyone for a spotlight. She even dropped music, not to chase a Billboard hit, but to release the pressure building inside her. One of her songs, Telltale Signs, hit different. You could feel every syllable, every breath. It wasn't overproduced or polished, it was raw. And that's exactly why it resonated. Women didn't just listen to the lyrics, they saw themselves in them. It was like she was giving voice to pain so many had buried, and then there were the lies. Melody went live on Instagram, not as a celebrity trying to control the narrative, but as a woman just trying to be heard. She cried, she laughed, she called things out without sugarcoating anything. Fans tuned in religiously, not for gossip, but for realness. It was therapy in real time. That transparency built something that no PR team or reality show could buy: trust. The more she spoke, the more cracks started to show in the shiny surface of Love and Marriage Huntsville. Viewers began noticing the patterns, the edits, the bias. They started asking questions. Why did Melody always look isolated in scenes? Why were her achievements barely mentioned while everyone else's drama was front and center? Why did the work seem so quick to silence her wins, but amplify her breakdowns? And then came the alleged leak. A behind-the-scenes email thread that appeared to show production staff discussing how to balance her airtime so she wouldn't appear too central. It wasn't confirmed, but fans didn't need receipts. They already believed her because everything she had been saying, it lined up to perfectly. Suddenly, the show didn't look like a messy reality series anymore. It looked like a machine built to elevate whoever played by the rules and punish whoever didn't. Melody had stopped playing, and that's when things really got ugly. Melody knew exactly what she was risking by speaking out. Reality TV may claim to be unscripted, but there's always a hierarchy, and the minute you start challenging it, you're marked. That's what she began to notice. Her screen time suddenly shifted. Scenes that featured her thriving mysteriously vanished. Promotional material barely included her. And while other cast members were getting soft edits and favorable lighting, Melody's narrative stayed one note: angry, difficult, dramatic. Behind closed doors, it got even darker. Melody says she was warned. Not in so many words, but the message was clear: play nice or disappear. She was allegedly told to stop pushing back if she wanted to stay part of the brand, to keep her head down, smile for the camera, pretend it wasn't personal. But it was personal. This was her real life, her kids, her reputation, her peace. And she refused to shrink. That refusal came with consequences. Doors that were once wide open started closing. Events she used to be invited to gone. Deals that seemed promising suddenly pulled back. Even the network's social media stopped sharing her wins. For someone who carried the show for seasons, the silence was loud. But Melody didn't panic. She pivoted. She realized that if they were going to treat her like she didn't matter, she'd create spaces where she did. So she built her own platform, one where she could tell her story without a middleman twisting her words. One where the lighting was her own, the camera angles were hers, the captions, the edits, the message completely hers. No more filters, no more waiting on a green light. Her followers didn't just stick around, they multiplied because of rawness. The truth, the unapologetic realness, that was the very thing people were starving for. The more she spoke, the more other women began speaking to in her DMs and comment sections. In interviews, women in and out of the industry started calling out the same dynamics. Being labeled hard to work with for having boundaries. Being called emotional for refusing disrespect. Being isolated for standing up for themselves. Melody had cracked something wide open, and people were listening. Still, the weight of it all was heavy. There were days she didn't post, nights she cried, moments she questioned if it was even worth it. But then she'd see a message from a single mom saying, "Because of you, I left my toxic relationship." Or a young woman saying, "You taught me how to love myself again," and suddenly, every bit of it made sense. What Melody went through wasn't just reality TV gone wrong. It was a masterclass in resilience. A blueprint for how to survive when the very thing meant to elevate you tries to break you. And not just survive, thrive. She didn't just walk away with scars, she walked away with an empire. The irony is the same platform that tried to control her ended up launching her. The same castmates who tried to tear her down only made her voice louder. The same network that underestimated her strength became the reason she had to find her own. Today, Melody Shari is more than a reality star. She is a brand, a movement. A woman who refused to be edited into someone else's story. She showed the world what it looks like to be bruised but not broken, to rise without permission, and to build something unshakable from the pieces meant to destroy.